This one is going to be a huge challenge. I really want to get Chicken Strip, the Albino Nile Monitor. Hey, what's going on, guys? I tell you what, the other day I pulled out my old Canon 5D, put a couple cool lenses on it, and did some cinematography, and I kind of thought to myself, that's kind of one of the things I was always really passionate about. I love filmmaking. I love telling a story. I love everything to do with it. And it's been a while since I pulled out one of these big old beasts and got some kind of more cinematic shots. So I thought to myself, let's go ahead and just show some really cool animals and really film them with something like a Canon 5D. And I've got a couple lenses I'm going to use today. And number one, I'm going to show you guys some really cool animals. And I'm going to talk a little bit about cinematography. Now, I'm not a photographer. I'm not even really a cinematographer. I'm an amateur guy. For those of you that know a lot about cameras, you're going to be like, Brian, you're teaching the wrong thing. I stick with animals. The fact is that I know my way around a little bit with a camera, so I'm going to have some fun with this. Get some really gorgeous shots of animals that I can share with you, things that maybe I've showed in the vlog before, but we haven't been able to show the detail that I really would love to show. And I'm going to just talk about how I'm achieving those shots, and let me know. And by the way, down in the comments, let me know if you guys want me to do more cinematic stuff like this in the future, because I really do love it. So it's up to you guys. Tell me how you're doing today. Tell me something awesome. In the meantime, I'm going to get back to messing around with this camera. Again, I'm not going to have this as kind of a camera tutorial, but I do want to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what my mindset is when I'm trying to photograph a reptile like this beautiful bold bell right here. So basically, I have a 24-105 lens on this right here, and what you have to understand is that's going to shoot a nice kind of shot of the animal, but you're not going to get like super up close to it, not a macro. This isn't a macro lens. What I have here is a 180mm macro lens, which means I can get really super tight, and it's actually a 1.2 f-stop, which means I have a super shallow depth of field. The only problem with something that's this long is the fact that I have to be probably about 2.5 or 3 feet away when I'm shooting it. Now, you can get like a 100mm macro or less than that, and you can get a little bit closer to your subject if you want, but I like this with reptiles because I can be far enough away where it doesn't freak them out, but I get that super close macro shot and have a really awesome depth of field, which basically just means that everything behind a short amount is blurry, so you can really make what you're looking at pop really good. And then we have a 70-200 here, which isn't a macro, but again, you can shoot long distance, really shallow depth of field, really a beautiful cinematic lens for sure. So I'm going to use all of these lenses. I'm going to use a couple other devices too. Anyways, let's go ahead and get some macro shots with this lens of this beautiful bold bell. And you can really see the difference that a lens like this brings, that really super shallow depth of field. It gives you an opportunity to pull something into focus, pull something else out of focus, basically kind of highlighting what you're trying to tell the story of. So lenses can be a good storyteller too. The way you shoot things, the movement, the depth of field, that's all part of the storytelling. So I'm going to have some fun today. This was a bold bell leopard gecko, which absolutely is beautiful, but I want to show you guys a bunch of stuff and just get some really cool shots. Again, let me know in the comments if you guys like this type of stuff, and I'll try to give you some helpful tips about photography and little gadgets along the way. But I wasn't grown up in mind. But I wasn't grown up in mind. As you can see, you can do some pretty fun stuff creatively with that type of thing. I like to go with a low f-stop because, again, that gives you that shallow depth of field. So the higher the f-stop, the more will be in focus. So if I'm going with a 4.0 or less, maybe even 2.8, it's going to be a really shallow depth of field, and then I can go in focus to out of focus and back and forth and kind of rack focus that animal, which I just think is cool because if I'm highlighting the tail, it's in focus, but its head's out of focus, and then I want to bring it up and focus the head, and it just kind of pops. So that's really good. But if you want to go with something much higher, like f22, the entire snake is going to be in focus, which is something that you might want to do. Again, using your equipment for storytelling can be something you can do as well. Now, what you really want to do is keep the ISO as low as possible because that's less grain. The lower the ISO, the less grain in the footage. So that's one thing you want to do. But I just want to explain really quick. This is just a monopod. This is what they call a Manfrotto Monopod. It's something you can buy pretty cheap, and it really is good for steadying your camera, especially especially when you have like that macro lens, because even the slightest wiggle really wiggles a lot. One thing I want to play with a little bit later is something like this, which is just a really cheap dolly. You can kind of see it just goes like this. And you can actually like kind of pan around your animals. I think it's really cool. Regardless, again, I'm not trying to give you guys a photo tutorial because I'm far from a professional. I'm just kind of a guy that loves this stuff, so I'm kind of excited that I'm getting back to it, and I hope I can bring more of this cinematography to the vlog. The problem, honestly, is it takes a lot longer when you're editing, when you're filming, you're switching lenses, you're switching apparatus, and it just takes longer, and when I'm putting out a video every day, it's kind of hard to do, but I definitely want to try to get it back in. Just a couple days after she ate, and Verde is looking so good and so plump. It's amazing what a couple big meals will do for the size of an animal. What a beautiful snake. Now, I've never actually tried to do any kind of a set type of thing with Verde, so I don't know. She's probably going to move around a lot, but we're going to give it a shot. And that's the other thing. You can use different sets. You know, I'm using either black or white today, but the truth is you can go with a really beautiful naturalistic background and do the exact same thing I'm doing, and that makes it even cooler, right? So you can get as creative as you want, and you can do amazing photographs, little short videos for Instagram, whatever the case may be. I think Verde is going to be really hard to get to sit in one spot, but I'm going to give it a shot. Okay guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been messing with Verde for the last about 5 minutes, and she just will not calm down. Now, one of the biggest tools of filming or photographing any live animal is patience. But the fact that she still has a pretty good meal in her, and it's only been a couple days, I think I'm going to just go ahead and put her back. I don't want to get her upset or have any issues, right? Oh, hey, sorry I didn't get any really great shots of Verde, but hey, there's plenty of other things we can get. So, moving on. How about Rick and Morty? I know it's hard. Every time I film Rick and Morty, you really can't see them very well. So I think getting some really cool shots, and certainly that macro shot, is going to be awesome. So I don't know if I can get these little guys to sit still, but I'm going to give it a shot because I think this will be absolutely awesome. So guys, I think that worked out absolutely incredible. They are so cute, and getting to see them up that close makes them even cuter. Let me know what you guys think of these guys. They're doing great. They're eating like pigs. I gotta somehow figure out a camera that I can get them eating, because the GoPro is so hard to work with, and of course it's a water situation, but I'll get that footage for you guys eventually. This one is gonna be a huge challenge. I really want to get Chicken Strip, the Albino Nile Monitor. I've never really gotten any really close-up shots, not only video, but even pictures. So if I can get him to calm down and stay on this background, I'll not only be able to get some cool video to share with you guys, but also I can get some really cool photographs that I can upload to Instagram or Facebook or whatever the case may be. So I have to just kind of wear him out for a minute, and I'll just handle him, let him go through my hands, and once he kind of wears out, hopefully I can set him down and he'll chill out. I'm going to do my absolute best to get some awesome shots of my little buddy Chicken Strip. And again, guys, I cannot stress enough, I am far from a professional videographer, photographer, or anything. I really just kind of know my way around a little bit, but I'm sure that you guys that are really proficient at this are looking at this video and going, Brian, you should do this, or Brian, you should do that. I'm just having fun. I love working with this stuff. I love trying to get a good shot, even if I'm not the greatest at it. And in the end, I'm not going to win any kind of awards for my cinematography. I'm having a good time, and hopefully you guys are learning a little bit, and I'm giving you a few little tips here and there if you ever want to do something really cool for your Instagram or YouTube or whatever the case may be. Next up, I'm actually going to switch to this Canon 70D because it has a really super like fisheye lens on it, and of course I've got Fetty Wap down here, and the idea is I've got this little dolly here, and I'm going to just kind of do one of these numbers here and see if I can get some really cool kind of cinematic fisheye lens of kind of going around Fetty. Again, it's all about storytelling, right? So you can get really creative with your shots and just have kind of cool things. You can have, they can be transitions, they can be whatever whatever the case might be. Let your mind go. I mean, whatever you want to do, that's the thing that's beautiful, is that the equipment is one thing, but really your mind is the best tool, because if you can come up with really great ideas. Yeah, Betty, what's up? Don't you bite me, silly. What are you doing, you silly monkey? I've never seen him quite act like that. I'll probably give him a couple hormones. As a matter of fact, I might do that. I might give him a hormone and then use the 70D. Again, always think creatively. The more creative you can get, the cooler the shot. So what do you say we give it a shot? So the last kind of tool that I use quite a bit that I want to show you is, of course, just a GoPro. This happens to be a GoPro Cube. They're relatively inexpensive, I mean in the grand scheme of things, but they're extremely versatile. One of the things that's amazing is, of course, is they're waterproof. So if you ever want to get in the water with something, GoPros are a great idea. You know, some of the Samsung phones are really good for that as well. And this is just a little short monopod that can extend out. So let's say I want to get close to RJ over here, but I don't want to get so close that he's going to run away. This is a good option. So what I'm going to try to do is I'll just extend this out a little ways so that I'm plenty far away from him so that he doesn't get stressed out. And basically, I can get as close as I want with this. Just turn it on and watch this. And again, this works really well for an animal that maybe you're not as comfortable with as well, you know? So say you have a meaner snake or a cobra or something like that, and you want to get a close-up shot of it, but you don't want to get into the strike zone. So a GoPro is a great option for that. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a little bit of Bowser too. Bowser's hanging out in the water. Again, it's really good when it comes to underwater footage. It's a great just kind of tool. Again, all these things are just tools for your imagination and how you can tell the best story that you possibly can. That basically is all the tools that I use when I'm out trying to capture a cool story. And I'm going to be honest with you, sometimes it's hard for me to really get out there and do what I want to do. So I have to make a little bit of a concerted effort to start bringing more of that creativity back into the vlog so that I can kind of showcase some of this cool stuff visually as well. So let me know down in the comments if you like that idea and what you think that you could use this stuff for, or what you'd like to see more of it from me. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it today. You know, I love being creative. I love using all these things to kind of just get my creativity out of my head and share it with you guys. I guess that's why I love daily vlogging so much, is because every day I get to wake up and tell a story to you guys, a story that I'm passionate about, that I love to share, and I can't thank you guys enough for coming along on this journey. I hope that some of these tips or ideas kind of inspire you to go out and do something amazing, because I have faith in you guys. I hope that you have an absolutely amazing day, morning, evening, whatever the case may be. Your support means the world to me, and I love you guys so much. Can you do me a couple favors before we get out of here? Can you smash that like button, as well as turn those post notifications on so you know when I upload a video, which is every day, 7 days a week at 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time. Remember to be kind to someone today, and I promise I'm going to see you guys tomorrow.